don't think so.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Town of Pompey Planning Board for tonight, which is June 16th, 2025. We could start off with a pledge of allegiance. Everyone stand up. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Start off with some introductions. I'm Sue Smith, Chairman of the Planning Board. To my far right is John Shaheen, member, and Kevin Corson, Secretary Sarah LeJudis. To my left, Carl Fahrenkrug and Deb Cook, both members. I know Dan Vargas will not be in attendance. I'm hoping maybe Will gets off his tractor at some point in, but we'll document if he goes or doesn't. So. First off, our minutes from last month.
Our code enforcement officer introduced.
Oh, sorry. Tim Barrett, been back, code enforcement officer. Will Z is in the house.
It's off his tractor.
And John Dunkel, town engineer, and Robinson, attorney.
Yeah.
Minutes from last month, we had a few revisions that were submitted. Anybody else have changes, corrections? Hearing none, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve them. A second.
Okay, in a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. On our agenda this evening, I'm going to introduce it and then I will be recusing myself as I do have a family tie to the applicant. So the True Way Creamery site plan review. Preliminary review of a site plan application submitted by Ricker and Jenny Smith to retrofit an existing building located at 8077 US Route 20 in the town of Pompey. The 24 by 36 building and retrofit it into a farm-store and cafe. That's that number is 016.02-12.0. And well, I am going to recuse myself. Kevin has graciously agreed to
Accepted the
duties.
duty. So, Riker and Jenny? Most about your project.
Right,
I have reviewed your application.
okay.
Do have some help. It's very complete.
Some guidance.
Yes.
Yes, it's very good. So everyone's on your case. I think it's the most complete application I have ever. I have on my many years on the board. So nice
Thank
job.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm very familiar with the building. You know, when our kids were younger, we went and picked strawberries and. Building. So tell us about your project.
Yeah, so our dream goal is to change that into our store and cafe. So to allow people to come in, be able to sample dairy products that I've made and other companies have sold across New York State, sell it into the store, have the cafe so people can come in, enjoy coffee and some delicious food and be able to kind of learn a little bit about agriculture and what we do as dairy farmers. And then we will eventually, the second phase would be having a creamery behind that building so that then I can actually start processing the cheese and dairy products right on site from Tree Farms and then sell it directly from the site into the cafe and store. So it's two-phase, kind of get to know our market, understand what cheeses sell best in this area, what people are really looking for, and then start to implement those recipes into the creamery. So we do have True Way will have 2 to 3 private labeled cheeses that we're gonna buy in wholesale that are recipes of mine that we've sold. And we'll bring those in as wheels and I'll cut them and get them all ready for sale.
Some of these cheeses and products are from your first venture out of college where she started and built a processing plant in Western New York on a dairy farm. So some of it is kind of carrying over from that project and then transplanting it here to get us started.
Yep.
And you're gonna use products from the farm?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have some meat that'll be either from Pompey or our own beef and pigs that we have. And then eventually, once we have the dairy processing, it'll be the milk right from the farm that we'll be using.
My only question is, and I'm trying to think of the site, is in and out
Mhm.
in terms of driving. Is there an in and out or it's the same drive used for that?
Same driveway used for that building, so the state came out and where you pull up to Route 20 is wide enough for two cars. It does narrow as the driveway comes down, but in order to get in and out, two cars would be able to do that at the same time. Getting onto and off of 20.
The gravel's there for us to widen it back out
Yes.
for that. And we had a state engineer come out and they requested us paving it up to the state right away.
And there are additional entrances to the property,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
And for emergency services or whatever, so yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it connects to technically two other driveways, but
Yep.
another one through the farm
Yep.
driveway.
Yep.
Yeah. Mhm.
Questions from the board?
You already asked what I wanted to know about the road site, so.
The parcel, it's an existing parcel.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it looks like, it encroaches on. There's a building to the east,
Mhm.
so that was just an accident.
So we had the parcel, we needed that changed over to our names for grants that I was applying for. So that was kind of what started it, and then that parcel, you can talk about how it goes into part of the heifer barn.
Some of that was some lack of foresight by my dad at that point. Just we all, like, it's my parents and family that own that whole parcel. So it's all staying in the family. And at that point, it was, well, it's just together, just, I guess, put the barn wherever, that's kind of how that ended up.
Tim? Did you hear that discussion? On the parcel, do you have any concerns with that? The fact that the building, the heifer barn encroaches on their parcel?
It should meet the town setback requirement.
So that line would have to be moved, Tim?
Lot line adjustment, essentially.
So, yeah, the color photo is a GIS, which is typically used for tax purposes only, so it may have shifted. So if they had an updated survey indicating where that building,
Do you have an updated survey?
No, the survey is the last one that was done, so we can,
And what would the setback be, Tim?
5 feet. Or, height of the building.
it's the 5 feet, but then with the height as that sliding scale.
You know how high the barn is?
also,
It's just a single story barn, isn't it? Probably.
Yeah, single story, looking to the peak or the sidewalks.
To the peak.
Johnny?
I think.
Yeah,
Ag exemption for that, is there?
was that?
There's not an ag exemption for that.
So it's 20 feet, Tim, so what would the setback be roughly? And, 10 feet, right, and could that be done with a simple line adjustment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did put that number on.
Bigger, dissolve that property.
into the.
Dissolve that into the rest of it?
Yeah,
You separate.
Our-
because you want-
We separated it so that it was under,
What's the separate the whole time?
uh,
Yeah, because
you wanted.
way
It
back
was-
in the day, it was a totally separate farm
Right.
that as Treaty Farms has expanded.
Wanted it to continue to be.
so that parcel was a part of, because it was a separate farm. That was a part of what, 100 acres or so, and then
Yeah,
we took that parcel so that I could apply for grants
Okay.
under my name, and that parcel was then
Mhm.
put that way. So that's why it was really
Yep.
separated out from the rest of
So
the,
all we have to do is just a simple lot line adjustment, just pull it in to the correct distance.
okay,
And then the survey would indicate that.
Okay.
Then
It doesn't show on the survey map. I don't know where the building is. Here.
Yeah, that was the old, so that's,
That was prior.
that's the, yeah, we added where the store is and stuff, but that is the old farm.
Yeah, those structures are not there.
That's different here.
Yeah, that's what we drew in.
That's what you're gonna do, or where the building is now.
Yes.
Just doesn't show where it is.
Yeah, that's.
Right, that's true.
So that lot line adjustment, can we do that as part of the approval process?
Like make the approval contingent on the lot line adjustment?
Yeah. As opposed to having it as a whole separate issue before us.
Well, I think for now, we should just focus on. Like, so I understand you're talking about the future plan as a whole.
Mhm.
But. So on your EAF, it just says you're retrofitting an existing building.
Yes.
So. Oops. I mean, I think we need, as far as the lot line issue, we'll have to figure out if a variance is needed as far as this use in this farm zone. Because they want to be in the farm overlay district. And so to be a farm under that district, they would have to need a 5-acre parcel as opposed to 3.3. So I don't think that's remedied by moving
Yeah.
it along.
Right. So,
Thank you.
right.
Yeah.
If you slide that in away from the barn, slide back, line back. or-
Right.
Yeah, because it was all one parcel. We just separated it for the.
Yeah.
If there's a setback, you're not really changing a line right now, and why is? It's not like grandfather,
It's a non-conforming use and they're changing that non-conforming use.
because we're changing the use.
Yeah. And it's super pretty easy to do, I mean, nothing's really changing. Still a technical.
And you have the ability to make that the 5 acres? Yeah, what's needed, 5 acres?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the use is allowed in the FBO district, but it just has 3 standards of applicability, and one of them is the size of that lot, which has.
Okay. And that can be done with a lot line adjustment.
Uh,
Kim?
haven't looked it up.
You guys on.
Parcel.
What's that?
West side.
The what, the west side is,
Yeah.
yeah, but Hoyt
Yeah.
is that directly over.
Just off 20. The
Yeah.
screen back is ours.
Yeah, we would go back, not.
Yeah.
Over.
So you do, based on this parcel map, you do own to the north of the parcel you're showing too?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
farm does.
Yeah, the farm does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's resolved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so can that be done with a lot line adjustments?
It's hard to say without seeing all the parcels on the map, but if they own
Yeah. it
this
looks like
lot
there's
and the
plenty.
lot north, they just move the line up.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
And that can be done as part of this whole process?
Well, lot line adjustments are done by code enforcement.
Right.
officer.
And
So,
do you
like-
have any issues with a lot line adjustment? They'll move the line to the north and then move it off of the Hefel building there and make it 5 acres?
Yes.
Okay. That's doable then.
Yeah,
Okay.
so probably this will need a public hearing, but if we could get the new kind of map with the 5-acre lot, we can
Yeah.
put that up
Okay.
with the public notices.
It's a public hearing for the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, for the whole application.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And so you'll need a new survey for that. So you'll figure out,
Who to-
tell the surveyor that you need 5 acres and you need it off of the Pfeffer building and they can draw that survey and you can use that with us.
Okay,
Any other questions?
We need to see that new survey in order to act on the rest of the application, or can that just be? That's it's happening and we understand how it's happening.
Could be contingent on, yeah, we could
Shouldn't
pull
hold
it with
anything
that
up.
contingency. Cause it's really a lot line adjustment.
Yeah, as long as whatever is approved on a at least 5 acre lot.
It's
And to get, you have a surveyor that's done that for you already, or you've got the,
no, we'd have to get one.
yeah. Sure, there was one that did something on the property, but, we'll probably do that within a month.
We will do that as
Yeah.
soon as we can. I'll make
Yeah.
calls on it tomorrow.
And then the public hearing, if they can do that next month also, yeah, so. That'll be the mailings to the neighbors and all that.
Okay,
Sarah can help you with that,
okay.
what you need to send out.
It'll be the 21st. July 21st. Okay.
So you folks need a site plan to approve as part of this, so. My suggestion is that you have a plan that shows where your parking is going to be, where the septic system is located. And the well, and that's all part of what needs to be on the site plan.
Yeah, do those all need to be on the same drawings, because we have same piece of paper is what you're saying, okay?
Yeah, and then you also talked about possibly having special events there, so where would the overflow parking go? You should show that on there, show it's not gonna be on top of the septic system or
Yeah.
near the well. I'm sure you got plenty of space there, but
Are you talking
Yeah.
for the tours?
yes,
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
so that would be, yeah, some of the farm.
yeah, but that can all go on that 5 acre lot.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do an additional sign to the 3G sign?
So it would be the existing frame that's there, it would all fit within that frame, just like the 4x8 sign would just move down,
Mhm.
and then the true way sign would just fill the current slot of 3G. So it'd be
Be
within.
a drawing of what that'll look like.
Sure,
Yeah, and is there a size limitation on signage?
Is it one that's
So-
grandfathered in with one that's already?
Right, that
been
one's
there?
been there for,
Right, if you're gonna add
you're
to,
gonna make it bigger.
no, we're taking the Tree G sign out, moving it down and putting a true way up on up.
I
And
guess it would be a
would
larger
be-
square footage of.
Yeah,
that.
Nice.
Than bigger.
But I mean, it's bigger. Forgot we have one there.
Okay.
We could take the 3G down and it's just a true way.
Yeah. yeah,
you might wanna check with, Jim and Sue before you take that down and throw it away.
oh, we won't, no,
But yeah, just a rendering it to see what the sign, and will the sign have lighting? Does it now?
Does not have lighting now.
So you will want lighting on the signage?
so yeah, they're gonna be solar lights that point down at the sign, so that they're still gonna be dark sky compliant.
Okay.
But that way we don't have to run any electric over to it.
Right, did you had a cut sheet, I think, on some.
Yeah,
On those, yeah.
yes, our engineer or our electrician just gave us the
Yep.
lights that he wants to put on the building, yep.
Those are the building, but the sign light.
The sign light we don't have the cut sheets on there.
But get
But we
that
can get that.
also, so you
Yep.
can see what that.
Yep.
That looks like. Anything else?
Yeah, the septic system design, Wayne did it, but should be part of the record.
On the site plan sheet.
On the site
Yeah.
plan sheet.
Whether is that done?
It's already been approved by the health department.
Right.
Correct.
It just needs to be, we need to see on the plan how big, how much space it's gonna take.
Yeah, I
And where it's gonna be located, relative to parking and such. Anything else anybody can think of?
Does the site plan master picture need to be done by an engineer with everything overlaid on top of each other?
Well, it needs to be accurate.
Yeah.
Take a look at the requirements in the code for what needs to be shown on the site plan. It spells it out pretty clearly, but does it have to be done by an engineer?
So we know what it's gonna look like when it's completed.
The surveyors usually can do those.
Right. Yeah,
There's no design involved really, it's just drafting.
Draw it to scale.
Yeah.
with the location of the,
The
there is a
location.
well, I think there's a
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
Right, so the location of the well on the survey, the septic on the survey, you know, building,
parking land.
parking on that, so on that same drawing, they can do all that. And then letters to, the neighbors within, how many feet is that? 1,000 feet, that's it. So that should be fairly simple. What else?
What about the overlay? We're trying,
Oh, the,
you have to create the overlay. We're trying to figure out whether that's.
Well,
Brown
it's-
bales?
Yeah, the
In the-
function of
the city
code
and
is
city.
feasible, but it's in the district so long as it meets the applicable standards.
Oh, so it's not a.
Because it's in the farm,
Giant.
it's in the farm district now, right?
Right.
Yeah, so it becomes FBO if you meet the three.
Oh, okay.
So once we have the 5 acres.
Yeah.
Instead of being, even though we have the parts, we need the line to show 5 acres, so.
To qualify
Yep.
as a farm.
Separate, real farm.
you're comfortable with what you need?
So
You can always check with Tim. That's it. Anything else that we can think of? You guys,
Just have to use for.
Yeah. Oh,
They check and see if it has to be referred
to
county.
county.
Already have it.
is it
we've,
to the referral?
And I hadn't sent it yet, but I got to pull up.
Okay. We should get that back.
So that, you won't be able, if you don't get it back. You have to wait 30 days, give them 30 days. If they don't go in, then they can respond. It may hold up. On the board, yeah.
When is their meeting?
So let's see, today's the 16th. If we have this in by Friday, the 20th. They'll review it on Wednesday, July 2nd, and your meeting will be on the 21st, so that would be fine.
Can you get it in by then?
Yep.
It was a positive, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of quiet.
Yeah, I got it filled out. I just got to send it electronically.
It sounded like when I asked my kids if they did their homework. Okay, good, so we'll get that in, so that should not delay a thing. When are you thinking about like opening? As soon as
hoping,
possible, right?
yeah, hoping for the fall. It's been a working.
Contractors and weather and life.
Yes. Be nice if it would stop raining, so we could cut hay. but-
Yeah.
Anybody, anything else? Thank you for your complete application and your time here, and you're pretty comfortable with what you need.
Yep.
And, good luck with it.
Thank you. I did have one question for the phase 2. Tim had mentioned asking for phase 2 being accepted now as well, but then going for just the building code once that time actually.
And your point of
Happens.
adding a building as part of phase two?
Yeah, that would be the processing plant.
I would say
So-
probably not, because you have to define the whole wastewater treatment
It would be-
system, which
yeah.
may affect the site
Yeah.
plan and all that.
Yeah.
There are too many unknowns. at this
Sure,
point.
that's fine.
Keep it separate.
Okay, that's what we've done so far, so.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, easier that way.
okay,
Thanks again for coming in.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. That concludes our agenda. And or do you have anything else?
Nope.
Any motion? Sorry, I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion adjourned? Yeah, meeting adjourned.
Motion is.
Yes, motion meeting. We're done. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.